from the Fat Man, I'm Batman, I'm Kevin Smith.
I am Marc Bernardin.
Hey! Welcome to the Scum and Villainy Cantina here in Hollywood on Hollywood Boulevard. Put your hands together so the folks at home know you're real. That is a garden gnome version of me, man. Just put it in your garden.
I can hide behind this fucking thing.
It's true.
I need a stool so people go, hi, everybody. Not sure you can...
Let's get it off there and put it down here. I'll sign it. We here at the show, for those just listening, we always let folks put stuff up on the bar for us to sign during the show. We got a big-ass Silent Bob figure that was just too fucking much. Marc felt he was being upstaged. He's like, I got to deal with Kevin Smith enough to my right. Fuck the one to my left.
It's like Jack Jacks of Kevin Smith. They just keep on popping up around me, and I can't.
All right, wait a second. Before we go a second further.
Yeah.
Last week, we had a banner fucking show. We had Markus and McFeely, the writers of Infinity War and all the Captain America movies, the Marvel boys. And because of that, this show got a bunch of fucking press all week long. I kept seeing stories pop up and whatnot. It was nice.
People watch the show.
Or one person did, and then every website copied one and wrote about it and shit. But regardless, it was kind of nice to be part of the news cycle in a positive way. You?
Well, I mean, I appreciate the lack of hate for doing a good thing. It was a nice comeback from a week.
It's a low bar now, isn't it?
Listen, it's the fucking internet, man.
I appreciate where people don't hate me.
But yeah, like I've been that internet journalist who's like, I gotta do 5 stories a day. So what are these 5 gonna be? All right, these guys fucking said something. I'm just gonna write a piece about it. And this guy on IndieWire, I think, just wrote a story saying, Markus and McFeely say what they would do, reveal what they would do about with DC movies should they have the chance. And it like didn't mention the podcast at all. It was just as if...
I saw it. It said Kevin Smith's Fat Man on Batman, but there was no hyperlink off of it. Or, there was hyperlinks to their names and stuff like that, but they didn't mention you, and they didn't hyperlink the article, which I thought was kind of like fucking rude. And then, so it was like 4 a.m, and I must have thought it was real rude because I tweeted them. And, it wasn't shitty, but it was kind of shitty at the same time, where it was like, hey, man, like, we're all digital journalists, too, me and Marc Bernardin, and I know I'd hate it if somebody took their entire article, copied it from our work, and, like, didn't hyperlink back or even mention the other guy and stuff. So to be fair, they corrected that. It was very, very nice.
You got to wake up really early to get one past Kevin Smith.
Yeah.
4 a.m., you got to wake up.
No doubt. I wake up, I'm like, who's fucking me on the internet? This is a thing I just read before we came up here, man. This is I am going away this weekend to Seattle to the Ace Comic-Con, where apparently, I remember Jason Muse's wife, Jordan Monsanto, she runs our company, so she's the one that says, you're going here. She says, you're going to Seattle to do a show. I was like, I was just at Seattle. And she said, this is at a comic book convention. And I said, oh, fucking awesome. She goes, plus they want you to moderate panels. And I was like, oh man, like moderate panels for what? And they're like, the Avengers. I was like, whose dick do I gotta suck to like, you should have led with that, So I'm getting to do 2 panels while I'm there, and I just read about it on Deadline. Deadline had an article up that says, Marvel skips San Diego Comic-Con, but Seattle's is Avengers Central this weekend. So number one, Marvel's not going to San Diego this year?
Marvel Movies is not. Marvel TV is.
Marvel TV is, Marvel Movies is not. Okay.
Basically, Iron Fist is going to Comic-Con, so thanks.
Get iron-fisted at Comic-Con. Kevin Smith, it says, is moderating a number of Avengers panels on Saturday at 11:45. Paul Bettany and Elizabeth Olsen will sit down and field questions about why nearly everyone disappeared at the end of Infinity War. So that's one panel, Vision and the Scarlet Witch.
Nice. Like they know why, but okay.
Yeah, or as if they're going to tell me. I'm like, ruin your career, spoil something right here in Seattle. But that's going to be nice. I've met both of them separately and made them laugh both separately. I met her at Sundance. Mm-hmm. She was there with Hawkeye for a movie called Wind River, I think. And when I went to interview, before we interview everybody, I would sit there and be like, hey, man, this is going to be the easiest blowjob of an interview you'll get all day, so relax and lean back. Some people didn't enjoy that analogy, but whatever. So I went over and said, hey, man, how are you? And she goes, I just want to tell you, me and my brother used to watch your movies all the time and stuff. And I was like, oh, shit. Normally I tell people it's going to be an easy blowjob of an interview, but it's going to be 3 blowjobs for you before you even see anything. So sat her down and talked to her. She was lovely. And then Paul Bettany I sat next to on the couch on Talking Dead one episode, where one of the episodes was something intense was happening, and it was like where the Saviors attacked the compound or something. And so I gave an analogy. I was just like, watching this episode, it was like, how do you do this delicately on TV? I was like, it's like receiving oral, and then you finish, but the person keeps going, and you're like, no, and shit. And fucking Paul Bettany, who I'd never met until that night, was sitting next to me, just fucking died laughing and shit. Could have had my way with Paul Bettany that night, but so
I got the vision, son.
Oh my God, yes, I'm a visionary. So I'm gonna do the panel with him and Elizabeth Olsen. That'll be nice, and then there's another one at 6:15 on the same day. Smith will habla with Tom Holland, Sebastian Stan, and Anthony Mackie for a Captain America Civil War panel. That fucking sounds fun.
That should be a blast.
However, I did get a fucking text from Jordan going like, Tom Holland's agent wants to know the questions in advance. I'm sure they're like, you can't say, you shooting your web, son, and shit like that. You know?
He's just a boy.
Totally. So I was like, I don't have any questions in advance. It's a conversation. You sit down, whatever you talk about. But I'll promise I won't say anything fucking untoward. I know the dude's got a big career and shit like that. Plus, I'm a fan. I'm not going to sit there and be like, ruin your shit. You're the best Spider-Man we ever had. Now ruin it, you know. So yeah, man. But that big news out of that wasn't so much, hey, I'm doing this, but more about Marvel not going to San Diego. That was kind of weird to me.
Well, I mean, it's and
is it D23 year or something like that? Because that's the Disney convention that they do.
I'm not sure. Who knows? Does anybody know if it's
2019? Nerd. Well done. We needed that information. So yes, there you go, man. Fucking who knows why? I guess they're like, well, they just had. What's the next big movie?
I mean, Ant-Man will be July, probably before Comic-Con.
I'm sure they're like, we don't want to go there and have to disappoint fucking thousands of people when they're like, what happens in Avengers 4? And we're like, we're not fucking telling you. So it might be easier to stay away, I guess.
Yeah. And it costs a fortune to bring Avengers to fucking Comic-Con. Just in travel. Yeah. Just in, like, you've got to gather people from all over the world, some of which might be reshooting parts of Avengers 4.
Yeah.
And, like, put them up first class, private jets, all of that fucking shit.
Totally. And these movies, you got to understand, they're independent films. They have no budgets.
They have no budgets.
I don't know how they're going to fund these adventures, but, boy, I hope they continue.
But it's like when you look at the Ace Comic-Con, those guys are getting paid.
Are they?
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm one of those guys, and I don't know if I'm getting paid and shit.
I mean, I hope you are.
I hope so. I just learned that I'm doing 2 fucking panels while I'm there. Yeah, man, it's kind of strange though that they're not going to be at San Diego this year, but I guess they do maybe every other year at this point.
Yeah, if they got a thing, they'll be there.
What is the big thing that's going to be at San Diego then? Is it the Aquaman trailer?
I hope there's more than that.
Wow, man, you got a high bar, man. Either that or I got an incredibly low bar where I'm like, just show me a little Aquaman in my face, I'll be fine. Like, I don't need a whole fuck ton.
Well, I will tell you one thing that will be at Comic-Con. Castle Rock will be at Comic-Con.
Oh, shit. The J.J. Abrams show based on the work of Stephen King, written by Fat Man on Batman co-host Marc Bernardin, that show?
That one. Written by me and like 9 other people. But we are showing the pilot episode at Comic-Con.
Oh, shit. Where?
Ballroom 20, I think.
Nice. That's huge. Yeah, it's like 2,000, maybe 3,000
Yeah,
people.
2,500 people in there.
Fuck.
Yeah, so it'll show sometime that week before the premiere on the 25th.
Are you going to be on a panel of some sort there?
If so, that would mean they are desperate for panelists. Because like,
will you be in the audience of that panel?
I will be front fucking row. I don't think I will be on the dais unless I get the call. Like the fucking Castle Rock signal goes in the air. Like, we need you. Get in the car.
I don't know, man. Not for nothing. I understand, like, they got J.J. Abrams and a cast of people and stuff, but you do carry a fucking audience.
There would be like 30 people in that crowd just waiting to hear from me.
Where's Bernardin?
I got a question.
Well, that sounds fucking exciting. What have you been doing this week? I know you were busy. You tweeted something very cryptic.
I'm all about the cryptic because I got a job. I told you this. I'm on a new television show.
Yes.
Which I started.
This is the part of the show where I have to pretend I don't know what's really going on. What have you been up to, Mark?
But yes, I joined the writing staff of a television show called Treadstone.
Hey, give it up for Mark. You got a job. Fucking time. Anybody listening to this show should know that this is a guy worth fucking hiring. Smartest dude in the room. All right, so Treadstone sounds like comes from the world of Jason Bourne, no?
It does come from the world of Jason Bourne. And that is all I can say about the show that comes from the world of Jason Bourne. For two reasons. A, I can't fucking say anything because they'll kill me on sight. And with like a magazine or a phone book or a hair dryer.
A rolled up magazine.
Yeah. It's neck punch. And B, I started working 2 days ago. Like, we don't know what the fucking show is yet. So that's the process. Right now we're in what we call the blue sky process, where it's you kind of just like sit back in your chair, like you're looking at the blue sky and say, well, what if we did this? What if this happened? What if we went there?
Let me ask you this, as a veteran of writers' rooms at this point. When you're in a blue sky period, when you guys enter the room, are there any bones whatsoever? Or is it literally like we're building this shit whole cloth right from everybody in this room? Like somebody had to get a job off this shit in order to be in charge of the writer's room, and they must have had an idea, right?
There's a pilot script that we're working off of, but it's a pilot is the first rung of tracks in a very long fucking path,
right?
And the pilot also hasn't been shot yet, so it's. Hey, we could change whatever we wanted to in the pilot. We can go back and alter whatever we think would make the most sense going forward. But what's the rest of the show going to be? Where are these characters going to go? Who's going to get punched in the neck? Who's going to,
Is that a big part of the process? In fucking Blue Sky, part 1, part 2, neck punching.
That's my process anyway. Like, listen, we got to punch like somebody in the neck every 8 minutes.
How many people in the room, writer's room?
7. 7, not including the showrunner.
7 to write 10 episodes.
Yeah.
So 8 people to write 10 episodes.
Yeah, pretty much.
I know you can't talk about details, but what is how does it feel between this and the other gig when you walked into the Castle Rock writers' room?
They're both somewhat burdened by legacy, I think. Like the Stephen King of, like the most popular American author in the history of books is Stephen King. And so now you've got to conjure up a show that feels worthy of being a Stephen King, quote unquote, production.
Right.
And this also is like, people have lived with Jason Bourne. They've lived with both from the novels first.
Is it Ludlum? Is that the
author?
author?
Robert Ludlum. And so it's figuring out how to subvert expectations while still delivering the kind of thing people want. And I think that's going to be a big part of the early process is what do people expect to get out of something like this?
Right.
And how can we give them what they don't expect but didn't know they needed?
It smells like you're trying to figure out how to make a Jason Bourne story without Jason Bourne. I feel for you. That sounds exciting, man. That means you get to go anywhere with it.
We totally do. It's nothing but freedom aside from what feels right. And that's a good way to go.
You're an absolutely great person to have in the room for that sort of thing. How long are you in that process? Or as the Canadians say, process?
The Blue Sky process could be anywhere from 2 to 5 weeks, maybe.
When are you hireable again?
I don't know.
Your own thing could kick in.
The own thing could kick in. Castle Rock may or may not get a season 2, and I may or may not return back for it. So I go back on the market, whatever the writer's version of Tinder is. Somebody should make that up because we're all self-loathing people who need love. But I go back on the market in November, December, and then we'll see what happens going forward. But I'm gainfully employed through Christmas at the very least.
That's fucking awesome. So, that's a good feeling.
Yeah, babies get presents.
Mark's got a job till Christmas. Give it up for him, ladies and gentlemen. God, this is fucking stunning. Who's got a story on this, man? What's the story?
I'm friends with Andre Phillips, who is Miss Testmonger on Supergirl. And my buddy is doing some stuff for Johnny Depp. I'm friends with Valerie Perrine, and I'm doing a documentary on her.
You're doing a documentary on Valerie Perrine, who played Miss Testmonger.
Yeah.
Look at that. That's an awesome Gene Hackman.
He's amazing, my buddy. He's quite incredible.
Beautiful, man. I get to keep this?
Yeah, that's yours.
Oh, my God. What do I have to do for it?
We could talk. I'd like to do an interview with you at some point for my documentary, a little short.
Happily. Hook it up through him. He'll help you out.
I got your painting, Mr. Luthor.
Yeah. Right on. Thank you. Okay.
Oh, I went to the movies.
What did you see?
I went to go see Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom.
Oh, fuck, man. And? Did it fall? Was it Kingdom? What's up?
How did you feel about the first Jurassic World movie?
The one that Colin Trevorrow did?
Yes.
I enjoyed the shit out of it. I thought it was a real like throwback and whatnot. Made me go, oh fuck! I remember how much I liked Jurassic Park in 1993 or whatever. So it worked on me.
Remember that time when this was good?
I mean, it erased like the memories of Jurassic Park 3 and stuff.
That's
and took
fair.
me right back to the first one, and I thought they did a good job.
Yeah, this one's better than that first one is.
Is that right?
It is, yeah.
How did you feel about the first one? I guess that's what matters.
I was a little tepid on it. It's one of those things where, like, in the moment, you're like, oh, this is kind of fun, and there's running and jumping and whatever. But the minute you walk out of there and start thinking about it, you're like, oh, well I don't. Why?
What do you mean? The moment you start thinking about it, you're like, dinosaurs aren't real.
This is bullshit. Like, what kind of
I want my
crowd
money
control do you
back.
have?
You've lied to me.
But this is a better movie than the first one is, but it still kind of falters in the like. This feels like a remake of The Lost World, Jurassic Park.
Okay.
Which isn't bad, but you can tell there's two halves of that movie. It's we're going to this island to get dinosaurs off of the island for some reason. I'm not going to say why yet. And then we're going back to the mainland with these dinosaurs, and shit's going to go wrong. That is pretty
That's
much
what happened in the
happens.
second Jurassic Park.
That's the second Jurassic Park, and it's
I remember when I saw the trailer, there were a bunch of people going, "Oh shit, the dinosaurs have come to the land." I'm like, they did that once.
Yeah, we've seen this.
Yeah,
And
we
so-
had our oh shit moment, and Spielberg did it. It was one of his.
Yeah.
Like he directed that one, correct?
And so this one is J.A. Bayona, who did When a Monster Calls, and there's another movie that he did that I can't remember.
The disaster movie with Naomi Watts.
Right.
Where she's at the resort with her husband and the family, and then a fucking flood hits. It's a harrowing movie. It's
Impossible.
Is that what it's called? The Impossible? Fucking beautiful flick, and also you're just like, holy shit, look like hell. I think Spider-Man's in that movie, Tom Holland and shit. There's something I could fucking say. Hey, I was doing a podcast and you came up.
I have one question. Here's the question I'm going to ask him. Tell me about The Impossible.
Totally.
Minute by minute, this movie is really inventive. Like the thriller stuff is really great. There's some nice horror beats to it. There's some interesting character stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But when it all coalesces into a whole, you're like, that was your big idea? That's what this is? I mean, okay, but really?
I'm
not going to spoil it because, I mean, you'll get there.
Totally.
You'll all get there.
Does it make all the money?
Yeah. I mean, it's already made like $300 million overseas. It's projected to open at like 130, 140, 150 domestic.
So the dinosaurs are going extinct no time soon.
There's going to be more of these for a long time.
Was there an ending that left it open for?
Yeah. It also feels a little bit like whatever Dawn of the Planet of the Apes was the first one, or Rise of the Planet of the Apes is the first one.
Are we going to go to fucking war with the dinosaurs? Are they going to have dinosaurs on
With
horseback
guns?
with machine guns?
Or small dinosaurs riding bigger dinosaurs
I'm
holding
fucking
machine
in,
guns.
man. They got my interest back in this franchise.
Yeah. So there's some things to advocate for this movie, but then there's also the like, what's your idea? That's your idea. Okay, I guess you could have tried again, but didn't. We're making a movie. So yes, I saw that one, which again, it tickles the pleasures that you want to be tickled.
Is
but it's
it
not.
Pratt-tastic?
There's a couple of moments in that movie where it's like you can tell that somebody wants him to be Harrison Ford real fucking bad. Like, I think there's a sequence, it's even in the trailer, when he's running down the same fucking plains of Hawaii, running away from dinosaurs, as Indiana Jones running away from natives in the beginning of Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Really?
The same fucking run, the same fucking angle, the same fucking place in Hawaii. Like, I know what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
Executive producer Steven Spielberg.
He's a charm factory, man. I'll watch him do anything, including my wife. I don't think he'd go for it, though.
No, only if she likes to fish.
Why, is he into fishing?
He's a huge fucking fisherman.
Is that right?
Yeah.
How do you fucking know this?
Instagram.
That's what he puts into his feed? Like, I caught a biggie fish.
It's like, here I am on my press junket, or look at the size of this fucking fish.
What a great life, man. He's like, I do two things. I sell movies and I kill fish. Every one of these fish was in my way. Did he, is he catch and release guy, or is he like,
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't gotten that deep into his Instagram stories to be like, no, here's where I felt.
Don't fucking pull back now.
No,
You're like,
I don't
how am
know
I
if he-
supposed to know?
Let me
What
teach
am
you how
I,
to
Chris
scale a
Pratt?
fish. Well, because he gets like crazy deep Republican in there, so I kind of like pull back after a while.
Is he a crazy deep? What?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just saying. So like, I'll watch him fish and watch him like mug nice, but then once you get deep into like Nugent territory, I want.
No.
I don't want him to go there, so I don't even follow that deep, in case that's where the road ends.
Interesting.
Because that's a bad fucking dead end.
All right, so thumbs up or thumbs down or thumbs neutral?
Thumbs kind of, gently erect.
Getting thumb in need of Viagra. Yeah. You're getting tough in your old age, man.
A little bit. But, I really liked The Incredibles 2, though.
Yes, I still haven't seen that this week. This week I went to see Hereditary, which I wanted to like more than I did, but I enjoyed. I went in going like, oh shit, I think I know what it's gonna be, and I came out going, what the fuck? And I'm in no position to criticize. I fucking made this movie, so I'm sure the filmmaker would be like, boy, I saw Tusk, shut up. But it was there were a lot of elements at play that were like right up my alley. So it was different.
I will not go see that because I'm a pussy.
You don't do the horror spook?
I haven't done a horror movie in a long
movies?
time. Like
Really?
the last horror movie I saw in a theater was Dawn of the Dead, the remake.
What?
Zack Snyder's remake.
That was like fucking 4 bad DC movies ago, man. Like
That's why I kept having hope. Like, look, that motherfucker made a great movie.
that is a great movie, man. That Dawn of the Dead remake, especially with the bar it had to clear. I love the first movie, and they found a way to make one that stands by itself,
Totally.
honors the original, and is its own flick.
Written by James Gunn.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's fucked up. I forgot about that. All right, man. Is that it? Is that all the news
That's
we
all the fucking chopping up I got.
got up front? I turned in an outline yesterday for this thing that I've been working on, which they haven't announced yet, so I'm not free to talk about it. But hoping that if they pull the trigger on this thing, fucking I'll be able to be like, come play. But
We'll go play.
I know, but you might be all up in Treadstone, or you might be on your own thing.
I
at that point.
will. Life finds a way, Kevin.
It's profound. Where'd you get that?
From the one scene that Ian Malcolm is in Jurassic World, where that's like all he says for the whole fucking time.
So he's in only one scene?
Yeah. I mean, it's the scene you've seen in the commercials where he's like at some testimony in front of Congress where he explains all of the bad shit they've been doing for 4 movies.
So you don't go back to the island? He read the script. He's like, this is Jurassic Park 2. I was in this. Goodbye.
Listen, the Goldblum does not run or jump anymore. I will sit here and like just awkwardly syntax some shit for you, but I'm not going to run away from anything.
True.
Must talk faster, not must run faster.
He's having a moment, isn't he?
That fucking guy.
Didn't he release like an album or something I saw?
Well, he does. He plays in. I've never seen him, but it's at the. Where is it? The Dresden? Is that it? Where he plays jazz like every Thursday somewhere here in L.A.
In Los Feliz? He plays jazz all the time?
Yeah.
Must be nice to be Goldblum. You know what I'm saying? You're like, I chill out. I play jazz. People are like, hey, you were in The Fly. And he's like... all right, let's dive in, man. You got some news
I
to
got some
share with
news.
us? Fucking A, man. Marc, Bernardin, went all over the internet to find all the news that's fucking fit to print in the section of the show we call the news. Give it up for Marc Bernardin, ladies and gentlemen.
Of the news.
Give us some fucking good news, because today all the fucking news in the real world is fucking bleak. I tell you, I was so delighted to come to this show. I took a nap at one point today, woke up, look at the real news, and I was like, fuck, I'm retreating to fantasy land. So I like coming here and talking about like this shit as if it matters. Like this is going to make or break the world. What do we got?
Well, I mean, this I like to look at it as we're playing the best fucking song while the Titanic goes down.
Okay.
So Incredibles.
It's not very fucking hopeful, but okay.
No, we're gonna fucking rock it out. It's Immigrant Song, yo.
It's a good metaphor.
See what I did there?
Yes.
Incredibles 2 opened and broke all kinds of fucking records.
Did it?
$182 million opening weekend, which is the highest for any animated movie in history.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's fucking big, man.
That's pretty fucking huge.
Good for them.
And-
What's his name? Brad Bird.
Telling you.
Talented
That kid.
storyteller.
That
Yeah.
kid, Brad Bird.
He's going to go places.
He's got a future.
I still haven't seen it. We were going to go on Father's Day, but we wound up going to Hereditary instead. Big fucking mistake.
I mean, but the title is like, we should go.
That's what I
Nice
said.
fun, let's do
I said,
this.
Father's Day, Hereditary. There must be a theme. And then we walked out, and my wife was just like,
Never again. You know what I did on Father's Day?
what?
I went to the Glendale Galleria. This company called Void VR has a Star Wars Secrets of the
Oh, you
Empire
did it?
VR.
There is. There's a Star Wars
Fucking
VR experience.
awesome.
It was cool.
It's fucking badass.
I've spoken to people that did it. You put on you're a stormtrooper?
You put on it. You're tasked on this mission where you're pretending to be a stormtrooper. So you put on the VR goggles and this backpack that you got to carry with you, and the backpack gives you all of the sensation of being shot. And when things are hot, you get hot.
What do they call something tick? Haptic? Haptic.
Yes. Yeah,
Haptic,
but it's fucking awesome. It's like 8, 9, 10 minutes long, but you're walking through an Imperial base. You're shooting stormtroopers in the face. You may or may not come across a Dark Lord of the Sith. All of this shit is kind of amazing.
Really? And how big of a space do you get to walk around?
It's unclear because you don't know. But you're walking, absolutely, and it's moving, but you don't know, like, you're standing on a skiff, and the skiff is taking you over lava fields, and you're like, this is cool. I haven't moved. I feel like I'm moving, though. And you get out, you walk, you make it right, and go, fucking stormtroopers! Boo, 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 boo. Do that for a while. Boo, 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 boo. And then, like, you go through another door, and you come back, and you might be in the same place you were before, but you don't fucking know, because there's more stormtroopers. Boo, 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 boo. It's the most fucking fun you can have. With, like, visors
You relived
over
it
your
there
head.
for a minute, man.
My wife is not happy because I relived it the entire rest of the day. Boo, 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 boo.
How many, on a scale of 4 pews, how many pews?
It is 3.5 pews only because it's not longer.
Oh, you'd like to be a little bit longer. You're like, I want to live there.
I could spend the weekend.
How much did it cost to do?
$30, I think.
Worth every penny?
Yeah.
Can you do it with others, or are you solo?
You do it as most a party of 3. I did it with my son.
Is there
And
a
then
line?
I can see him. Like, I'm in there and I look over and he's got his stormtrooper on. He's waving at me and shit. And it's a stormtrooper thing. I'm like, pew, pew, pew. And he's like, hey, pew, pew. Dad, I got shot in the face. Shoot back in the face. Okay, pew, pew, pew.
Gotta be honest with you, it sounds more interesting than solo. Well done. Wow, man. Fucking,
Yeah.
was there a long line or no?
It was crazy because it was Father's Day. So, like, you
So
know.
don't go on Father's Day, number
You
one.
don't, like, sometime between now and then, you should go, but don't go on Father's Day.
What was the wait time, though?
We had 4:00 reservations. We got to go in.
Oh, so you can make reservations?
Yeah, you buy your tickets and they give you you give you wait time. And we had to wait 45 minutes before we actually got on the fucking ride. But you could walk around the mall. You can go do some shit. Go to a food court, get some
Is this
pretzels.
a Glendale Gallery?
Yeah.
Outdoor mall?
No, the Americana is the outdoor mall. The Glendale is
So
the...
Glendale Gallery is still there? I
Yeah.
thought that was the Americana.
No.
Oh my
it's
God,
right
I've been
across the street.
ignoring the Glendale Galleria, going like, it's a shame they took it down. They're like, we're right here, and we're dying. All right, so that's a reason to get into the Glendale Gallery.
I would go if I were you.
They got one at Disneyland, I think at Disney, downtown
Oh, yeah?
Disney or something like that.
Same
Somebody
one?
said. I think a little more intense at Disney or something. Yes? Have you been to both? And the one at downtown Disney's
Same thing?
same thing?
You just described what we did at
Oh,
Okay.
fucking A. All right.
So fuck Glendale, man.
Yeah, you go to the gallery. And they got one in New York? They do Ghostbusters in New York? Where else can you go into other movies? Because I don't want to be here at all. In our world, I just want to keep diving into movies, shooting little stormtroopers in the face.
Like, when do you get the Oasis? Because I'm gonna move in.
I know.
Fuck this.
Wow, there's a Ghostbusters one in New York. And is there an Aliens one I heard, or an Alien?
They're talking about doing it. I don't know about that. The Star Wars one, if you get two people, you can do a wheel.
If you could get two people, you do a what?
Dual wheel is the boy one.
Pew 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 pew.
What is that?
2 guns. I mean,
And what was your word for it? Dual wield. Oh, wielding, as in like wielding a gun.
yeah.
And then pew 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 pew. I
Yeah.
got it now. Thank you for the
Because you double the pew, man.
$30.
$30.
All right, I'm in.
Fuck it. Let's go. Nah, I got a job. Shit.
Yeah, we got some shit to do right now. All right, back to the news.
Back to the news.
So so
So-
the Incredibles did very well.
Incredibles did very
beyond as expected. We all thought it would do well, but fuck,
Yeah.
it did a lot.
Yeah. So go see it. Add your $10 to the till.
They'll get mine for sure. I love that movie. I just haven't had a chance. I was working on something else for the same company.
You was busy.
I was a little preoccupied.
Were you a fan of Invincible, Robert Kirkman's superhero book?
But based on the expression on my face, no.
That's a no.
Not that I wasn't a fan. I'm like, what is it now?
What?
So he did.
He wrote a
his
superhero
Invincible
book.
was his.
Yeah, that about a kid who discovers that his dad was an intergalactic superhero, and then maybe not so much, but it's a coming of age superhero story. It was Spider-Man, basically. He wanted to do with Spider-Man in the same way that like McDuffie wanted to do Spider-Man with Static Shock. He wanted to do Spider-Man, so he gave us Invincible, and it was his second longest running book. It went for 15 years, I think.
Okay.
There's a movie that Paramount is making with Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg writing it, but they also just set up a animated series on Amazon
Oh wow.
of Invincible, and for real adult blood and violence and viscera and all of
Like
the
the
shit.
old Spawn.
Like the old
show on
Spawn,
HBO.
yeah.
Interesting.
So, and this is part of the first thing under Kirkman's overall deal at Amazon because he left AMC and
That's
set up
right.
shop at Amazon.
Yeah.
So this is the first of his. I'm bringing you guys all of the good shit.
Where's your enthusiasm level for it? Were you a big Invincible guy?
I read the first 4 trades and I really liked it. And there's totally a world in which that makes all the sense in the world. It's an hour-long show, which is interesting. Hour-long animated. They don't do very much.
Wow.
But yeah, I mean, I'll fucking watch it. If it's smart and if it's good. And
You're like, I got Prime.
not gonna cost me a damn thing.
Exactly.
Except for the $140 they hit you a year for Prime.
But wait a second. Seth Rogen's doing a movie at the same time as
Yeah,
well?
live action movie for Paramount.
Right on.
So, and nobody seems to be blinking, so I think they're just gonna make both.
All right. Something to look out for.
Why
Got to
not?
familiarize myself with this.
Yes, you do. There was kind of an amazing interview on Entertainment Weekly. We're giving credit where credit is due. With Toby Emmerich, the head of Warner Brothers Films,
Okay.
and he's talking about how to make good DC movies.
Did he watch our show last week? Is that how he knows?
No, because here was his answer. I think good movies work better.
He's on to something.
Somebody once said the best business strategy in motion pictures is quality. And I think in a world of Rotten Tomatoes and social media, what's been proven, the better the movie, particularly in the superhero genre, the better it performs. You can't hide the bacon anymore.
Well, I'm glad he's in charge.
I mean, to be fair, that should have been job one, right?
Yeah, isn't that true of everything? Do you really have to make 4 movies to be like, we figured out this would work better if people like these movies? Go figure. It's scientific.
Continuing, I would say that there are movies that are right for their time, that an audience is ready for, that's in sync with the zeitgeist. And I think you need a movie whose quality is recognized at the moment of release, so it is in touch with the culture of the moment. We're at a unique moment, he's fond of the word moment, we're at a unique moment around the planet, and certain types of movies are working better than others at this moment of time. And I do think Aquaman will sync up with the global culture zeitgeist of what's happening right now.
Can I make a statement?
You have the floor, sir.
I think in order to breathe, we need oxygen. Put that in Entertainment Weekly. I have spoken. Fuck, man. Like, well, God bless. He's a nice guy. I've met him once or twice out in the world and stuff. He seems like a nice dude, but, like, yeah, that's kind of been obvious to the rest of us. Well, it's nice to hear somebody inside be like, yeah, we fucked up.
Yeah, you guys.
In so many
What
words.
if we made these good?
Yeah. Novel idea.
Sorry, sir. How?
They've got Aquaman happening next, and then they just talked about Joker today. They released...
More Joker shit?
Yeah, the working title of it is... God damn it. What was it?
Joker's Wild?
It's not Harley
Joker,
Quinn.
I hardly know her.
No. That's not bad. Fuck, I forget what Romeo. That's its code name. That's the working title is called Romeo. But something I read, and this is the one that's directed by Todd Phillips, and Joaquin Phoenix is playing the Joker. They said it's going to hone close to The Killing Joke. So it's going to tell that story, which means maybe Batman's in it as well. I mean, how do you have a Joker movie without Batman?
Right.
They could barely make a Batman movie without the Joker most days.
What should we do? Poison the water supply? I don't know. What
I
else do
mean,
we
look,
do?
if they're making Killing Joke, fucking I'm all for it. Like, that'd be tremendous. But this is not one of those DC extended universe movies.
Right.
This is
DC Black or
DC
whatever
Dark
they're
or whatever
calling
they're
it.
calling it. Yeah. All right. Well,
So-
I'm still holding out hope, man. I saw some pictures from Aquaman in Entertainment Weekly. They looked interesting. That Mira hairdo is pretty orange. But I'm in, man. They had Ocean Masters in it. So I'm there. And they showed a picture of Black Manta with his helmet, and the helmet was ridiculously big. And they could have gotten away with, like, we're not doing that, but it looks like they're giving him the fucking helmet. And if they do that, they get all my money. I mean, let's be honest, they're getting my money regardless. But if they do it with Black Manta, I can go out there in good conscience and be, you should all give your money as well.
Bend the knee!
Yes. But if I go to that movie and that was just a scene where he's looking at the helmet and he goes, nah, and then wears something else, fuck him, you know. Then they'll pay. The oceans will rise.
But what if that something else is like a Kango that he just fucking turns on backwards?
That would bug me a little bit.
Yeah,
Not when the helmet was right there. So I'm in for that. They put up pictures this week of Gal Gadot wearing the Wonder Woman outfit.
Wonder Woman 84. And Steve Trevor rolling around.
Which I did. Were you the one that said that they could do that? I've been out there telling people that you said.
Yeah, Martian Manhunter.
That it could be Martian Manhunter. That would be a way to bring the Martian Manhunter into the DC universe. That would be fucking fantastic. What are the chances of that being?
I mean, you know, like given that Jeff Johns has a decent, he's co-writing the movie, and Jeff Johns, he was the dude who made sure that Martian Manhunter was in Supergirl. Like, he's ride or die for that character. Like, it would not be the craziest idea in the world.
That'd be fucking tremendous.
That'd be badass.
It'd be a great way to introduce that character to the DC universe. I remember there was a podcast where one of the writers, what's his name?
Alan Feinberg?
No, from DC, who wrote like Man of Steel. He writes all the DC superhero movies.
Oh. Goyer.
Goyer was on a podcast where they talked about how you could never nice. You couldn't really do Martian Manhunter because it's a goofy character. And I completely disagree. If you do Superman, Clark Kent, fucking Kal-El from Krypton, you can absolutely do the Martian Manhunter. So I hope it's that.
If you can do fucking Groot, then you can do Martian Manhunter.
You're not kidding. Well, Marvel could do anything. That we've learned cinematically. DC is still figuring it out. All right, what else we got?
Are you still watching Walking Dead? Is anybody here still watching Walking Dead?
I watched most of last season. I don't think it was tough when they killed off Carl. I was like, honestly, man,
spoilers. Coral!
Hey, man, pop culture moves ever forward. You gotta stay on top of these things. But yeah, that was kind of, I wasn't like, fuck him to death, but that was where I was like, well, I feel no need to keep up on this. I'll watch it all when it's all concluded and stuff. Not as much as like the two, you know, Flash and Supergirl. I watched like when they drop and stuff like that. They just finished up last night, I think it was. Supergirl finished their season. It was great.
You know who's coming back to The Walking Dead for the 9th season?
Yes. You can't protect him, Rick. Fucking Shane, man.
Shane's
How are they
back.
gonna explain this shit? Spoilers. Didn't Rick
season 1 spoilers.
shoot him in the fucking face?
Yeah.
So is he coming back as like, brains?
I don't think so, because he then goes back to the grave and then cuts the head off or fucking pokes a stake through or whatever, because he doesn't want Shane to come back. That happens in the first season.
He did that?
Yeah.
So then how are they fucking doing this?
Flashback is my
That
guess.
happened in The Walking Dead? He went into the ground and spiked the body and shit?
Yeah.
Really?
Really?
I don't remember,
It was a long time ago.
I guess.
But my guess is it's a flashback because he's only back for 1 episode. And I think it's part of Andrew Lincoln's
What
farewell.
kind of fucking bullshit non-story is this? They're like, Shane's back, bitch! For a memory.
For 1 episode.
That's not going to salve the wounds of losing Andrew Lincoln. Andrew Lincoln announced that he's done
Yeah.
soon, right?
Yeah, like halfway through season 9, I think he's going to bid farewell. And then, what's his face? Norman Reedus is number 1 on the call sheet. He's negotiating some $20 million deal to be the lead of that show.
To keep going?
Yeah,
Wow.
because, get paid.
Daryl as the lead.
Yeah.
All right. You always function kind of better as, you know, the Han Solo off to the side type, but if he's front and center, I like Norman Reedus, good actor.
I guess season 10 will be Solo, but with
Let me
zombies.
guess. season 10 is going to be all of them going to a place and fighting things that aren't zombies and talking a lot. That's what the last few seasons have kind of been and stuff. Negan's still on that show, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
I'll take your word for it.
Call me when that's done. I like him a lot. He's a great actor, but that character hurt that storyline so much. Just went on and on and on and stuff. So, that might get me to... I'll definitely be watching the Shane episode because I want to see how they pull it off.
My guess is...
What? They Wayne and Garth it? Fair enough. What else we got?
I've been waiting to do this pun for a long time. It is one of my favorites. Netflix made a deal with the devil to bring Lucifer back from cancellation.
Oh, that's right. I did see that story. Lucifer, which was on...
it was on Fox.
Fox. They were going through the throes of cancellation.
They were. For
And-
about 2 or 3 weeks, the Save Lucifer campaign was strong.
That's right.
And I think ultimately what held it up was the fact that Lucifer is owned by Warner Brothers, was on Fox. The streaming rights were with Hulu. And overseas, they were streaming with somebody else. And then Netflix was like, if we're going to pick up this show, we need all of it. Like, what's the fucking point if we can't stream seasons 1 through whatever we're going to produce of this?
Right.
So it took them 3 weeks to dot all the I's and cross all the T's. But yeah, season 4 is coming to Netflix.
Have you been a Lucifer guy?
I'm a Lucifer diehard.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So when they canceled it, we were like, ooh.
There's a little bit. I mean, every season it's one of those shows that never knew when it was coming back, if it was coming back.
Right.
So they would find a way to like put a nice button on the season, like if we don't ever come back again, look what happened. Which is exactly what they did. And yeah, there was a little bit of oh fuck, you could have gone a whole nother season. There's enough juice. There's enough in this tank to get you there.
How's the guy who plays Lucifer?
He is delicious. I mean, he's plummy and British. He's like, you know, what if Paul Bettany had a darker, younger brother?
What did they do? Now, this is Gaiman's Lucifer.
Right.
Is there other Gaiman universe stuff in there or no? Is it just Lucifer walks the earth, gets into jams and shit? Is Mazikeen in it?
Mazikeen is in it. Kane played a really big role.
Oh, shit, really?
In this season.
Oh, so it is very Neil
yeah,
Gaiman.
like and he actually was the voice of God. Neil Gaiman. They got Gaiman to play the voice of God in the very last episode.
Get the
that
fuck
aired.
out of here.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Yeah, you just sold a ticket.
Hey.
That's typecasting in as far as I'm concerned. Wow,
Again,
that's
you with the
awesome.
God. Yeah, so that's happening. And the very last story
Okay.
is... That is the last one, right? Yeah. Were you? Now you're a Shining guy, right?
Yeah. Oh my God. Who's not? Absolutely. Both. I was a big fan of the Stephen King book, and separately a big fan of Kubrick's movie. You know, and the two share a lot of similarities, but they also diverge in big ways. And King famously did not enjoy the movie, but I enjoy both renditions of The Shining. The only Shining I wasn't way on board with was the one with
the TV movie.
Yeah, the TV movie. I just thought that was crazy. It was what's his name from Wings? Steven Weber, who's a really fucking funny actor and shit, but like that's a big role to take on and stuff, and I didn't think that was really necessary. But I like it a lot. They're doing a sequel.
Yeah, Stephen King wrote a book called Dr. Sleep, which follows grown-up Danny Torrance, and Warner Brothers is making a movie which will star Ewan McGregor as grown-up Danny Torrance.
I think it's great casting. Who is the director? He's done something else.
Let me see. I must have cut that out from my.
These things don't just direct themselves, Mark. There's a guy, I forget his name.
Mike something or other. I think he did It, the guy who did It.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Speculation with Kevin Mark.
Filling in the blanks of awkwardly coupled together news stories with us.
Do you look forward to this?
I do. I mean, I remember seeing when we saw fucking Ready Player One, and they have that sequence that's, spoiler alert, in the Overlook Hotel. And it just reminded me how much I love that movie. And to get to play with that character again, the boy who saw evil and the boy who could talk to the dead and the boy who could do all that shit grown up. Like, what's that guy like today when that's your gift? You can see murder coming.
Do you think if Danny's coming back, does Tony come back, the little boy that lives in his mouth?
God, I hope so.
That'd be creepy to watch him in front of a mirror and that music comes up and he's just like, Danny, I'm an adult now.
Scratch
Stop
my balls.
jerking off. Wow, man, yeah, I can't wait. I'm in line for that movie in a big bad way.
And it's fucking
Do you
Ewan
think
McGregor.
it honors? It's gotta, right? Like,
Yeah.
you know, he's gonna lean into the Kubrick of it all.
And you know it's going to end at the Overlook Hotel.
You think so?
Yes.
I want to live in your world, man. You write such beautiful details. I hope you're fucking right about that. Oh wow, that makes it even more cool. All right, so are they gonna call it Dr. Sleep?
Dr. Sleep, yeah. Or Shining 2, Electric Murder Lose.
Shining 2, Shining Time Station. All right, that's all the news there is.
And there's one more bit that I forgot to write down. But last week, I believe it was,
Bless you.
Comcast made a bid for Fox, an all-cash bid of like $65 billion.
Yeah.
Which is $12 billion more than Disney's bid for
No.
Fox.
I didn't know it
Yes.
was a higher bid.
It was a higher bid, and it's all cash. It's not stock. It's like we're backing up a fucking truck, and here's all your money.
Now, Comcast has some loot, but I got to imagine Disney has way more loot than that. Do you think Disney backs down? There's no way they come that close to holding the X-Men in their hands again and go like, give it to the cable company.
I don't know, but I mean, NBC Universal, which owns Comcast, like they got loot. They're good with franchise management. They got parks. Like there's a world in which, like if there was anybody to have a good competing bid,
That would be it.
that would be it. So
Meanwhile, across the street, Warner Brothers just got bought, didn't they?
AT&T.
Or merged? I don't know. What
There's going to be 3 companies at the end of the world, basically, that own everything and do all of the things. And there's no more competition. It's just hyper mega global net.
Do you think in our lifetime we get to see Warner Brothers and Disney combined so that fucking Marvel and DC can finally fight each other on the big screen?
You know, yes.
It's got to be what's coming, right?
Because Walmart will buy them both.
All right, that's all the news we got.
That is all the news, my friend.
Last week we had fabulous fucking guests. We have no guests this week.
We just have the guests who showed up, our audience.
Well, our wonderful guests here in the room. The good news was last week you got to ask some goddamn industry professionals questions, man, and they yielded great answers and stuff. This week you're stuck asking me and Marc. We'll try to do as best we can. This is the Q&A portion part of the show, ladies and gentlemen. And in this section, we turn to the audience and let 5 people ask questions. And all we ask is that the questions pertain to both me and Mark. Just, don't lean into a Kev-centric question or a Mark-centric question or
Although
something
I will
like
talk about moose jaws all fucking day.
Yes. As much as he likes talking about moose jaws, we like to cover, it allows us to cover a lot more, a variety of topics. So, what you do is you ask a question. If we like your question, you're going to win 2 tickets to the 4DX Theater, which is at LA Live. A 4DX screening is one of those movies where you sit in a chair and the chair moves and it blows shit into your face and makes the room smell. And if it's snowing on screen, it snows in the room. It's a pretty fabulous experience. Pricey, right? It's a little premium. It costs a little bit more than going to the movies. So these 2 tickets here are pretty fucking valuable, man. It's a wonderful experience. Go watch like a big budget movie in 4DX. Trust me, you'll never see one of my movies in 4DX because nobody wants to watch people talk to each other in 4DX. They want shit to happen. But great experience, great time in the movies. Tickets courtesy of our good friend of the show, Brett Deacon, who's not here tonight. He didn't die. It's not like God rest his soul. He just can't be here tonight. He's working and stuff.
The theater killed him.
Yeah, oh my God. That 4DX experience was so real, it killed Brett Deacon. So we're going to turn it over to JC, proprietor of this here Scum and Villainy Cantina in Hollywood, to pick our question asker. And our first question asker is there. What's your name, good sir?
Hey, it's Sam.
Sam,
Hey, Sam.
everyone give it up for Sam. Sam, in that very spot last week, Markus and McFeely stood, man. Can you feel their billion-dollar energy surrounding that spot?
I think I feel it.
Yeah.
Kind of coming from this
What do you
area.
want to know, man? Tell us.
So, first off, thank you guys for everything. I ingest hours of your content every week. And
Thank you.
It's awesome. So, thank you for all of that and putting it up for free mostly.
Thanks, man.
What I was thinking is with the announcement that Jon Favreau's Star Wars live-action series will be set 7 years after Jedi, and then they're still not deciding what the Game of Thrones guys and what the Rian Johnson are going to be. If gave you those properties, what part of the former Star Wars canon would you reach onto in order to?
I would go populist. I would go Knights of the Old Republic. Like, that's the one part of the legacy or the saga or the Star Wars mythos that really hasn't been, like, picked over 1,000 times. That's where I'd go. You?
I mean, we talked about it a little bit when Rogue One came out. I think I love the idea of doing a thing about the fall of Jeddah, of the Kyber mines and the fucking acolytes who were defending the home of the Jedi but weren't Jedi, and what it's like to be Force aligned but not actually wielding the Force. And nobody's got a fucking lightsaber, but the Alamo of Star Wars feels like that's that story, and I think there's a lot of fucking drama in there. So that's where I'd go.
What about you? You're a fan?
Kind of lined up with Mark. The Guardians of the Wills just grabbed me. I enjoyed the book that they wrote, but those 2 actors just stole that movie for me. I'd really like to see them dig into those characters.
Yeah.
Did you see last week there was a story about, I don't know if it's been verified, but somebody says this is what George Lucas, I guess it was George Lucas himself, was in an interview, and he says this is what I was going to do if it were me. And it was about, he was doubling down on midi-chlorians, man.
It was crazy.
In a world where everybody was like, ooh, the Jedi blood thing, don't do that, George. He's like, fuck you twice.
Yeah.
There's your fucking Star Wars, So I guess we know now why Kathy Kennedy was like, thanks, but goodbye. And
Everything special about you came out of a bottle.
I mean, it could have been, who knows, he might have made it something interesting, but it sounds like...
It sounded pretty crazy.
It sounded a little on the weird side.
I mean, an entire movie set at the microbiotic level, I believe was the quote.
And that's what it read like to me, where I was like, wait, so are these microbiotics that look like have the head of Luke Skywalker on them or something? Or are we losing them altogether?
Is it Incredible
All I could
Voyage style? We
picture-
shrink motherfuckers down who've got to go into Obi-Wan's body and like find shit?
See, that could work.
All I could picture was the film I watched in elementary school about the smallpox vaccine going through the bloodstream.
Right. Seems like Lucas watched the same movie and was like, that's my next trilogy. All right, man, that's a great question. Give it up for him. He wins tickets.
Man.
Well done, son.
We're leaving town, so I'll let you answer another question.
You're leaving town?
Yeah, we wouldn't be able to use it. So
Oh, shit, man.
fuck.
Sam's leaving town, so he ain't taking the tickets.
All
All right, so we can do another. You can absolutely get a picture.
I like that George Lucas still wants to answer questions nobody was asking.
It's true. How are you, sir? What's your name? You got a microphone?
Mike.
Mike,
Hey,
everyone
Mike.
give it up for Mike.
Ever since they announced Jamie
Excellent,
Foxx,
excellent shirt, man. A little Tom Petty love right there.
ever since they announced Jamie Foxx doing Spawn, I've been wondering if there's a Spawn, there has to be a Violator. So who you guys would like to see cast as Violator, or what other Spawn villains?
Starting as the clown, going to the Violator. Interesting question. Last time it was John Leguizamo wearing a fuck ton of makeup. Who do I go with this time?
Tough one.
Well, it's unrealistic, but but he did come out of retirement to act fairly recently. Nicholson, man, like he played a famous clown once before and fucking crushed it. So I might reach that far back. You?
I think I go either Vincent D'Onofrio
That'd be badass.
Great choice.
or Benicio del Toro.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I think that motherfucker is just weird enough that you don't even need the makeup.
Excellent fucking
I'll
point.
flip you for real.
Was that the question? You fucking won. Get those tickets, man. Well done. We got another one, man. What's your name?
My name's Jamie. And
Everyone give it up for Jamie.
Jamie!
Jamie, what can we do you for?
well, I'm traveling on business and just ran across this, so thanks for having this. 'Cause
Oh,
you've been
right
very nice.
on. How does the bar hold up to, like, when you first read about going, this could be interesting?
This is dope.
Isn't it
This-
dope?
Yes, this is absolutely.
Give it up for JC's bar, man.
Yeah.
Scum and Villainy. What's your question?
So more industry type stuff. So you're talking about Stephen King, which is like my jam. So when you guys are sitting in a writer's room and you've got 10 writers, like, is it like the fucking Hunger Games? Like, how do you decide who gets what episode and where's that kind of come in?
That's a great question. I've never been in a writer's room. I, too, would like to know.
Well, in a writer's room, in a drama writer's room, it is not the Hunger Games. In a comedy writer's room, those motherfuckers are like knife and tooth and nail. They are merciless people. But the way it ends up working is you spend months in a room just doing the story, doing the big work of here's the 10 episodes we're going to tell. Here's the 22 episodes. Here's our giant story. And then you start siloing those stories into episodes. And then somebody, usually the showrunner, will say, you do that one, you do that one, you do that one, you do that one. Now, in that process of spending the 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 weeks in the room breaking those stories, your showrunner will begin to notice, like, somebody's gravitating more to that one because that's their speed storytelling. This one is a deep character piece. This one has a bunch of car chases. This one is about magic, and that guy's a member of the Magic Castle, so let him do that one. Whatever it is, like there's...
Is that what it comes down to? It's not even merit. It's like he said magic once. Give him that one.
Yeah, I mean, the way it should work is that, you've got a team full of people and everybody gets an episode, and if you're doing 22 episodes, everybody will get 2 and 3 because that's just the way it works. But, sometimes it's rotation. Sometimes it's you're just up. This is yours. Go to work. And then you usually get between 2 and 3 weeks to break off from the room totally and go write. And you come back with a draft, and then it belongs to the room. Then everybody reads it. Everybody gives notes on it. The showrunner will rewrite it to make it fit the voice of the show. And then let's do it again.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Fucking A, man. That's informative as shit. I learned something.
Well, you're welcome.
Give it up for her. You won tickets, man.
Go
Right
for
there.
it. Thank you.
All right, JC. Give us somebody else. How are you, sir? What's your name?
My name's Steven.
Steven. Everyone give it up for Steven.
Hi, Steven.
Hey! Kev, a long-time listener. I really enjoyed the podcast. Been listening since the first Denny interview. Been
Oh,
listening
shit.
since the Batman commentaries with Marc. I love the permanent edition, and I thank you, Marc, for your perspectives.
Right on, man. Classy.
But I truly want to blow a smoke up JC's ass because I really love Scum and Villainy. I have been here many times. This truly feels like the Geek Cheers, where everyone knows your name except mine.
Steven!
Everyone knows your name but mine because I have a 16-month-old, and if I've learned anything from Han Solo and midichlorians is don't be an absentee father.
Right. Very, very true. Very true.
In honor of our Geek Cheers, though, I really wanted to ask a fun, what's the geek bar room argument to ask? And to my Space Norman Cheers. I actually want to ask 2 questions. This first one, though, is because it's a ranking question, I'm okay with a offline social media post, but a Star Wars versus Star Trek question. There have been 10 Star Wars movies. There have been 13 Star Trek movies. They've been ranked varies. Rank them together. A 23 list offline. It's a long. That is a long-term question. So a social media post later in the week isn't fine. But
Wait,
versus
you want us to do work?
Yeah. At the very least, Marc, who I know has done many Star Trek, but this is an offline later question.
Ranking 23 films.
Exactly.
That's like-
But I mean, Wrath the Khan.
Hold
versus
on, let's reverse engineer it. What's the last one?
The worst of the bunch?
Yeah.
Fuck.
Maybe Star Trek the
Fine.
motion picture.
Yeah.
It's like Star Trek. It's
The Final Frontier.
It's like Insurrection, I think.
There's some moments in Insurrection, but Star Trek, the first one, is just like glory shots of the Enterprise for 20 minutes.
Well, I mean, at least if the Enterprise is your jam, you can jerk off to that.
That's true.
Like, oh, look at those nacelles. Oh, fucking go!
See, this is why I love this bar. You have this thought. It's like, what's best?
We will work on that offline.
Offline, though. But
We'll do
hopefully
a Google
much
Doc
more,
and we'll do a whole fucking thing.
But a much more fun, I think, more relevant is the old school Marvel versus DC. Justice League versus Avengers. You are each team captains. Kev, Team Justice League. Marc, Team Avengers. Draft version, 6-on-6. You can go one alternate. Pick a 6. You're going to draft a 6-on-6 team, and then who wins? Who is your first
This
draft
sounds
pick?
like a lot of sports.
I do.
All right,
do.
I get to pick 6 Justice League members.
But drafting, go one alternate
One
the
at a
other.
time?
And your team versus Marc teams.
Is that how they do it in the draft?
That's how it goes.
Do I
in
go
hockey,
first?
too.
Do I get the first draft
You
pick?
get the first draft pick. As the
Batman.
founder.
This young kid, up-and-comer Batman. He might do our team some good.
Oh.
I pick Batman. You?
I mean, the way this is going to go is I'm just going to pick the Marvel analog for the character you picked.
That's why I went first.
So, Iron Man.
Okay. I'm going to pick Superman.
Thor.
I'm going to pick Zatanna.
Doctor Strange. I can do this all day. Or 3 more.
All right, let's see. I'm going to take Magic Wishy Ring. Green Lantern. John Stewart, Green Lantern. And by John Stewart, Green Lantern, I mean the former host of The Daily Show. Because someone with imagination should wield the ring, and he
Absolutely.
seems very funny. Nice.
Professor X.
Oh, good call, man. Yeah, world's most powerful mind. Until he goes fucking nuclear, and then everyone dies in Connecticut. I get 2 more. Wonder Woman. I have a goddess on my team. You already got Thor, though. And she's a pretty goddess as well.
Galactus.
What?
He's not on the Avengers.
Not fucking fair to take a world eater and fucking put him on your team.
You got a god, man.
All right, fucking fine. Death. Guess what? We always win.
I'm pretty sure that was number 7 for you.
No, I think that was my 6.
Was it 6?
Yeah.
Am I
Fuck
counting
your
here?
math. That was 6.
I don't know the math so good.
You got one more.
I got one more. I gotta be death somehow.
There ain't no character called life.
Namor.
That's your rugged default. You're like, how do I beat death?
Yeah,
Namor.
Guy who swims good.
All right, and we get an alt.
Okay.
Ooh.
Just you get one more, and then just debate who you guys think wins of your 2 teams.
My alt is Mr. Mixixplitalik. An imp
Not
from
Fat
the
Mite?
ninth dimension.
My alt is long shot.
Wow. After what just happened to him in Deadpool 2, you still pick long... Oh, no, that was fucking Shatterstar. Long shot?
Yeah.
Really?
Fuck it, let's be lucky.
Wow.
I'll take lucky over good.
Wow, what a
dumbass fucking team I built.
Yeah. No,
Listen, once I put Galactus on it, it's fine.
it was pretty good, but it was like the hottest sex with the weakest ending. Like, it's like you were fucking us royally, and you're like, here it comes. Then you were like, and you're like, well, I guess that's a finish, but not what I was thinking of. Debate? I don't know. Death, man. I got death on my side. I don't see how he wins. Death comes for everybody eventually.
I guess so. Fuck it. We're all dead. Goodbye, everybody.
Excellent question. You win tickets. Get your tickets.
Thank you, Steven.
Well done, my friend. Responsible dad. Well done. What do you got next, sir? Take us there.
We got
You're
two
being
more.
choosy. You're being picky.
more?
JC's been enjoying all the compliments about his bar, so he's forgotten the main job. He's been sitting back there going, I am pretty cool, aren't I?
I'm
Built
the prettiest
all
girl in
this
here.
shit myself. Well,
I'm the belle of the fucking ball.
how are you?
Hi, I'm doing great. My name's Russell.
Hey, give it up for
Russell!
Russell, man.
Hi, everyone.
What do you want to know, Russell?
Get it, Ron.
So, I was sitting in a Netflix office last week, and I was reading your Kelly Marie Tran article on a Hollywood Reporter.
Mm-hmm.
I loved it. I read it.
Thank you.
It only had like 6 comments when I read it at the time.
Oh, yeah, no.
The next morning, I looked back at it again. There was 700 comments, and it was bad.
Is
I
your
don't know what you're
question
talking about.
what
I
is the
want-
difference
I
between
want-
6 and 700?
And I don't know math,
but-
so this is going to be rough.
But I wanted to ask you, Mark, how do you deal with mental health-wise, like for your mental health, how do you deal with those kind of comments on when they shit on the article you wrote? And then for Kevin, what would Jay and Silent Bob do about it?
I think we saw that movie. You take it away.
I mean, there is an old rule, and probably the only real rule that's not Rule 34, which I think is whatever you can imagine. It's don't ever read the comments. Nothing good comes from reading comments, good or bad. You know, like it's either it'll inflate your ego or it'll crush your soul. There's rarely a middle road. Twitter makes not reading the comments harder because the comments just suddenly flood across your face, whether you want them to or not. But you know, like you write a thing, you have an opinion, you feel like you've justified that opinion, you stand by what you wrote. So, and people are as free as I was to write it to disagree with it. You know, I do not take any of it personally because none of them know me personally, so they don't know what hurts. You know, they're just casting wildly in the dark, hoping that at some point they'll make me cry. And I will never tell them how often they do. So it's yeah, like just keep swimming, man. Like that's kind of all you can do.
As somebody who spends time making stuff and put it out there in the world, you hope everybody fucking goes along with it and always has nice shit to say. But unfortunately, that's not how it works. So you have to deal with a lot of fucking vitriol. The last one I went through, which you know I braced for and you know pre-lubricated for, was Yoga Hosers, man. Like we went to Sundance with the movie. I was fucking thrilled. I was like, oh my god, we're going back to Sundance with a movie I made with my kid. And you know, for whatever reason, I guess because people didn't like the movie, they all decided like up there to start shitting on it. And you know, I'd been through it before. I had the luxury of living through something very similar. When we made Mallrats, same thing. All the critics hated it and shit. Nobody saw it. Died at the box office. There was no internet, so there was not a bunch of people going, "You suck." But in the newspapers, the folks were saying, "You suck." So I've lived through it, and I also know that if you're patient and you know you just go on with your fucking life, sometimes it works out. Like people didn't like Mallrats when it came out, but then 10 years later, that was the movie most people would talk to me about. So when Yoga Hosers was happening, I was like, yeah, I understand. Like, fucking, I'm getting kicked in the balls now. But I also am smart enough to know that, like, if I wait 10 years, like, people will be like, oh, I like what you did back then. If you're patient and you're diligent, you can have everything you want in this life. You'll just never get it on the schedule you're expecting. And so you can't go in there going like, especially if you're going to make something like fucking Yoga Hosers, you can't expect the whole world to embrace it when it happens. Sometimes they catch up to it later. That was the lesson that Mallrats taught me. Like, don't, like Jim Jacks, who was the producer of Mallrats, I remember he told me, like, after opening weekend, he's going, we're right, we're just early. He goes, you'll see. And I never knew what that meant until years later. I was like, oh, yeah, that's right. The movie did work. Like, we were right. We were just a little bit early and shit. In the case of writing an opinion piece, like, he's really opening himself up for attacks in the same way he would be for just creating something and putting it out there into the world. But the opinion piece makes him a little more vulnerable at the end of the day because everyone's got an opinion. At least if it was his thing. You know, people can say what they want, but he's like, look, I made what I wanted to make. That's the defense I always get to stand behind. It's like, look, I get it. You don't like it. You're making that very clear, but I fucking love it. Like, this is exactly what I wanted it to be. So I guess I'm the fucked up one here, but, like, that's what I wanted to do. So if you could stand by it at the end of the day, you know, you just got to brave the storm. And it can get fucking stormy, man. It sucks when the Eye of Sauron falls on you and shit.
Yeah.
But it happens from time to time. If you're going to spend time on the internet in a high-profile way, from time to time, it happens. It happened to me once, like just recently. Okay, so was it this week? Or what are we, Tuesday? Last week, Drake dropped the video for I'm Upset, and it was Degrassi themed. And so I was in it, me and Jay were in it, and I saw somebody wrote an article. It was a lot of articles. Somebody wrote an article where they were like, this is the most relevant Kevin Smith has been since he got thrown off an airplane years ago. And at first I was like, motherfucker, and I was like, they're absolutely right. Like, I mean, I've been running along doing my fucking shit, but like I haven't popped up on this person's radar since I was like, wah, they threw me off a fucking plane. So in this person, the author's perspective, yeah, like fucking this is the last time the dude heard from me, and next time is in a fucking Drake video, and I must be jizzing myself based on like being relevant again, and I was. So he wasn't wrong. He absolutely wasn't wrong. So sometimes it helps to be able to, I know like, you know, he's saying never look at the comments and shit, but like sometimes it helps, absolutely. You know, you got to know what you're dealing with out there. And so for, you know, I've read a lot of filmmakers be like, I don't read my reviews over the years. I do. I read them all. Like, you know, I didn't make it in a vacuum. I made it to see what people thought. And so those people count as folks who write a tweet that are like, it was awesome and keep it short. Or somebody who writes a fucking think piece about what a fucking idiot I am and how I've ruined my career over the years or something. Everyone put in a little time. Like, I asked them to watch something of mine or interact with something of mine. They did that thing. I got to sit there and listen to what they say. Don't have to believe it. You know what I'm saying? Like, at the end of the day, you can stick to your own guns and be like, look, that's your opinion. I'm sorry you didn't like it. And believe me, with my career, I say that a lot. But I like it. Like, and if I like it, that's why I made it in the first place. The only reason we're having that discussion is because I was in love with doing this thing. And you can't sell out on it just because the rest of the world doesn't like it. You know, I used to do that. You know, after Jersey Girl, everyone didn't like it. I was like, yeah, fuck it, let's shoot it. You know, and so I don't do that anymore. Now I'm like, I get it, you don't like it, but oh my God, I fucking love it. It's my favorite thing ever. That's how
I mean, it's. I remember very early on when I started writing, and I would write, you know, screenplays and early pilots and stuff, and I would send them to friends to give me notes. And one of my friends, a guy named Zach Stens, he was on the show before.
Zach Stens.
Zach Stens.
Yeah. He wrote my episode of Runaway Dinosaur for The Flash.
He wrote the first Thor. He wrote X-Men First Class. And he told me something that went a little bit like, you don't want people to think your stuff is okay. You want them to either hate it or love it. Because the people who love it will be the ones who want to make it. They'll be the ones who respond to it. It's going to be somebody's favorite thing. But with that comes somebody's least favorite thing. So, you know, there was a lot of fucking shit that came my way during the whole Star Wars thing, as it was during Black Panther, as it was during talking about whitewashing, as it was. But each one of the, like, I got it. Like, this made sense to me. I understand what you were trying to say, and it means something to me. I felt like Willy Wonka at the end of Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory was like, so shines a good deed in a cruel world. Like just one fucking person who got it is enough to make the rest of it not really matter that much. Because when you find one person for whom you vibrate on the same frequency of, that's why you're doing it. To be able to find commonalities in people, to be able to find and speak to people who feel the same way and change minds of people who don't feel the same way. And it's fine. Like that, if that's the ratio, all right. I spoke to one person. That's good enough.
It's like that episode of The Simpsons. Remember when Kathleen Turner was the lady who created Malibu Stacy, and her and Lisa got together and created Lisa Lionheart, and they were just about to debut it, and then they introduced Malibu Stacy with a new hat, and all the kids bought that.
Stacy or whatever.
And then they saw one little girl bought the Lisa Lionheart, and Lisa's like, if we reach that one girl, it will all have been worth it. And then the other lady goes, yes, particularly if that girl pays $1 million for that one doll. And Lisa goes, what? She goes, oh, nothing. Kudos to you, Lisa. Very, very true. Excellent question. Give it up for him. He won tickets. Well done, man.
Thank you, Russell.
Pleasure. Bang, right there. Take them.
There it is.
And we got one more. How are you, good sir? What's your name?
Good, I'm Adam. How you
Adam,
guys doing?
give it up for Adam, everybody.
First of all,
Adam, there's one set of tickets left, possibly with your name on it.
oh, I'm gonna get them.
I like your confidence, Adam.
Thank you. First of all, congratulations on all the current success, Mark. And
Thank you
it
very
has
much.
not gotten love here yet since I've been listening to the podcast. But Kevin, I fucking love Jersey Girl.
Oh my
It's
God,
seriously-
thank you. Me too.
I'm
That was one of
apparently the
those
only one,
movies
but-
that I fucking greased up for, but I do love that movie.
Yeah, I think it's great.
Thank you, man.
My question for you guys is now, with the benefit of 2020 hindsight, if they were able to convince Christian Bale to play Batman in BVS and basically retcon it so he came out of retirement because of Superman, do you think the whole DCEU would have been better?
Number one, I like your movie a lot more.
Thanks. Have a good night.
It feels like, was that, they weren't saying that Ben was Christian Bale, but they
Kind of
were
implied.
saying like, oh, he's been around for years. He's not that guy anymore. I think I would have preferred it, and this ain't shitting on Affleck, but as a guy who loved the Nolan trilogy, when they announced like, hey, they're making Man of Steel and Chris Nolan's a producer on it, I was like, oh, fuck, man. So that means like his Batman and his Superman will coexist. And then ultimately it wound up being Zack Snyder's Batman instead. I would have preferred the Christian Bale version just as the continuity freak of like, yeah, all these fuckers
Would have
are
vindicated
connected.
it a little bit, I think.
And also it would have been like, what does everyone bitch about DC movies doing? Like, oh, they're trying to be Marvel. Like they can't catch up to Marvel. They had it right there. They were like, we've been making these fucking Batman movies forever, so now we're just going to connect them, and guess what? We got a universe. But instead, they launched a brand new universe.
Inversely, it's not just like they're trying to be Marvel, but it's like it's no Dark Knight. But you had the Dark Knight there.
And also, like you can go a long way on sentimentality and affection, and we all loved those fucking Nolan movies. So the bar was already set high. And if you were like, hey, these are a continuation of those movies, and he's only going to work a certain amount, he's not going to be in every scene, but it's your Batman from the last 10 years, that would have been a fucking very, very smart decision.
I mean, not only that, but then it becomes an emotional story. It becomes what makes this guy give up happiness? Like, what does Superman do?
Yeah, because the last time we saw him, he was in France.
He's
and
living his
fucking-
dream. Like,
Yeah.
granted, we won't discuss the fact that Batman fucking retired, because Batman doesn't retire. But given that he retired, what's enough to pull this guy away from the dream that he's always had of having the girl and having the paradise and being able to not be haunted and tortured by his parents' death? What brings that guy to put the suit back on?
And they still could have did what they did, right? Like you still do Man of Steel where fucking Superman fights Zod, and you still have that be the inciting incident that
Right, you
makes
still have,
Christian
like-
Bale go like, I've got to stop this mania.
Yeah, nothing else has to change. Just cast Christian
No,
Bale.
like he gets
And this
the-
is not like shit, and I don't get the sense that you're shitting on Affleck, and neither am I.
Oh, he was great.
It's just about like what would have been better fan service for those movies, and not just fan service. Would have made financial sense. Those movies made $1 or $2. So like
Totally. Like if you have
and I think they
Lucius get on
tried.
the phone and say, I'm sorry, Bruce, but 8,000 people died in Bruce Tower. What happened? How do you say that? We set everybody up.
Did you say Bruce Tower?
Bruce Tower.
He's like, fuck calling everything Wayne. Bruce. It's Bruce now. Bruce Tower. This is the Bruce Cave.
I want my Bruce lunch.
I like your version of Batman v Superman better.
At that
now.
point, it's Batman 4 and Superman 2.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like it validates everything that's going on.
Yeah.
But
Fuck.
I'm sure Christian Bale had a say in all this and chose not to, but still, I feel like it would have made it.
That's what I was going to say to him. They went after him and they offered him, they backed up the money truck and they were like, please fucking do it again. We'll give you over 20 million from what I understood. I wasn't in the room. But he was like, nah, I'm done with these, mate. I'm done forever! You know. Told somebody to get out of his eye line and fucked off. So they tried to get him and it didn't pan out. But I don't think it was stupid to get Ben. I thought he cut a dashing Batman figure in the costume. And I think it was smart. He was coming off of fucking Argo as well. But Christian Bale would have made all the difference, right? Just because you're right. It would have been Batman 4, essentially. Could have kept it going, man. And that would have like backdoored you into a universe at the same time that Marvel started theirs. Dark Knight came out the same summer as Iron Man. Is that correct?
I think Dark Knight did. I think so.
So then by the time you get to The Dark Knight Rises, the next movie...
That's Avengers 2.
Yeah. So you're on your way to a backdoor universe, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, and then you call it Man of Steel, The Dark Knight Returns.
Ooh. Man of Steel 2, The Dark Knight Returns.
Don't even think you do the 2. Just fuck it, Dark Knight Returns.
Just subtitling it?
Yeah, maybe it's like a little stamp, like Wreck-It Ralph 2 is on that fucking poster.
But that was the original plan. Like originally, Zack Snyder was going to do Man of Steel 2, and they were like, "We're going to let you play with Batman." He's like, "We're bringing Batman into it," and then it just became
Batman v Superman.
Batman v Superman. Wow, man, that's a good fucking idea. Wait, was that a question, or are you just telling us what would be better?
Wouldn't that be awesome?
It's so good. It doesn't even have to be a question, man.
Well, in that case, no, I don't have a question.
Well, as long as you just end up, wouldn't this be awesome?
Well, I guess the question was like, if let's say BVS was the exact same script and everything was the same except for the first scene is, oh fuck, shit's going down. You know, Fox like, no, seriously, you got to come back to town. Shit's real. And everything else the same, would BVS have been perceived better? And I think yes, but it sounds like you guys think so too.
Absolutely.
Perceived better, yes. Be better, you gotta fix that
Yeah,
script.
it's like maybe.
And when Bale shows up, like, you're gonna fix this fucking script, because I could be a cobbler in the middle of Dublin right now if I wanted to. I'm gaining all this fucking weight for American Hustle. This has got to be awesome for me to lose it again.
Yeah, but he loves that shit.
He wasn't the cobbler. That was Daniel Day-Lewis.
They're all the same.
Oh my God, you're profiling all actors like they all want to make fucking shoes.
All British actors are the same.
That is, I don't know about the question, but it was an excellent point. One that deserves tickets. You were absolutely right. You win. Yes. It's a bummer, man. That's like, fucking, like, I got to drive home thinking about that. Going like, God, that would have worked like fucking crazy, and we wouldn't be having all these conversations about the DC universe and stuff. In terms of pejorative conversations.
Right.
I saw some people online were a little upset that I asked what they felt was a very leading question about the DC movies to Markus and McFeely last week. They were like, come on, man, it's unfair and shit. But I thought they gave wonderful answers.
Totally.
I didn't think they shit on the other movies whatsoever. But it was also like, I'm a fan of both. And both of those series of movies have gotten my money time and time again. But, I'm just kind of curious what those cats would have did. I thought they gave a really good fucking answer.
They did. Not one that would piss off anybody.
And what?
Not one that would piss off anybody.
I didn't think
especially
so.
who might eventually give them work.
What do we do? What should we do for guests in the future? Because that really kind of worked out. It's worked out when we've done guests live.
It has, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, who do you guys want us to get in here?
Yeah, who's everybody want? Well, here, let's make them gettable, please. Like, we're not going to get Christian Bale after the fucking 10 minutes we just did.
Tom Cruise is never showing up here.
Seth Rogen or Joe Rogan. Which Rogan? Joe Rogan. I think this would scare Joe Rogan. I don't know if the Cantina bar is Joe's vibe, to be sure. More screenwriters. I agree. I thought those guys were really fucking interesting and had great answers.
Well,
and stuff.
we've been talking a bit with Gary Whitta about coming down to San Francisco, and I
He
think
was
we might
supposed
make
to be
that
on
work.
one
Yeah.
episode. Yeah. So that's a good call.
we'll
He'll
make
be
that work.
coming up. Who else? Jeff Johns. What a great fucking call, man. Let's get him here and have him talk live and stuff. Who?
Make them gettable.
Kevin Feige's the white whale, man. Like fucking. If I can nail him, fuck. If we can get him here, I don't know if we'll get him here in this place, but that seems more like a fat cave kind of thing. Have him come over and be at the house and stuff. But yeah, fuck. I want to dive deep with him. And everyone's just like, oh, you want to ask for a job? Not at all, man. I just want to fucking. I just want to tell him about my good friend Marc Bernardin. But me, I just want to fan out and be like, what are you going to do next, man? What does the future look like and shit? You know, spoilers and stuff. So, yeah, hopefully. Who else? Wait, hold on. Say again?
Mike?
Mike Tyson? Neil deGrasse Tyson. All right, that makes more sense, man. I was like, so, did you like boxing?
Could you beat up Mr. T?
Neil deGrasse Tyson, that's a good call. Yeah, he'd be comfy here and stuff. Dan Harmon, excellent
Ooh,
fucking
good
call. Yeah, Dan Harmon would be very comfortable here, right? Fuck. That'd be a good idea.
never
to get
leave.
Dan. And I did him for Smodcast. Yeah, part 2. Might be nice to do it here and stuff. Those are all thought. Who else? Kathleen Kennedy. She'll never give us the time of day. Kathleen Kennedy, my kid went to school with her daughter, and so I saw her a few times over the years. One time, she came by the house to pick up her kid. Lovely woman, we chit-chatted and shit. But I wanted to ask her, like, hey, I do a podcast called Fat Man on Batman, and my wife was like, don't you fucking open your mouth to her, Kevin. And I was like, how can I not? She is the single most successful producer on the fucking planet, and she's like here at the house. Like, I gotta ask her if she'll be in the pod. And my wife silenced me. I couldn't do it and stuff.
When I went to the Rogue One premiere,
Yes.
where we hung out, and I was talking to Harley after the premiere, like that this after party at the Avalon Hotel, I think. Mm-hmm. And I ran into Harley, and it's like, oh hey, what you think? I think you were off being Kevin Smith, and I'm like, hey, it's fucking Harley. And she was there with a friend of hers from school. He's like, oh hey, how are you? Go ahead, meet her, talk to her. He's like, oh, so what you think of the movie? I'm like, oh, I liked it. I dug it. This is right up my alley. He's like, what about you? It's like, how did you get in here? She's like, my mom produced it.
And then he looked at me like, you fucking prick.
You can't give me the fucking high sign?
Anything could have come out of his mouth. Like, I hated it.
This is
was
bullshit.
a bunch of bullshit. What a collective waste of time this was for everybody. Who produced this mess? She's
Let me
like,
tell you
my
about the
mom.
second act. You got all kinds of fucking problems here.
That'd be amazing.
I don't fucking dug it.
It is. I remember that. I remember that moment vividly. Okay, Kathleen Kennedy. No, who else? George R.R. Martin. Yeah, he could be a get while he's in town. I met him at the Neuchâtel Film Festival years ago, and he was so fucking nice and fun and shit like that. And I wasn't even a big Game of Thrones person at that point. Then I saw the show afterwards because I sat down and chit-chatted with him. But he did tell me a funny story. He was just like, I said, what's the difference between being a fucking author before the show and after the show? He goes, you sign a lot more books after the show. I said, really? He goes, yeah, like fucking before the show, I'd go to a book signing and 20 people would be there and I'd sign a book and I'd talk to them and stuff and then we'd all go home. Sometimes we'd all go out to eat together. He's going, but now a book signing is like 1,000 people show up and stuff. I was like, get out of here. And he told me a story about being in some foreign country and he was signing 1,000 books. The line just kept going. People would come up with their copies of his books and he'd be writing like fucking, he's like, I alternated between Best Wishes, George R.R. Martin, and Winter is Coming, George R.R. Martin. And he's like, at one point they came over to me, the people who organized the signing, they were like, George, you should probably take a break. And he was like, why? And he was like, because you've been signing books, wishes are coming. Ladies and gentlemen, have you had a good time this evening? We cannot thank you enough for being here, man. The Scum and Villainy Cantina right here in Hollywood. But there is no Fat Man on Batman without the smart one. Give it up to the guy to my left, Mr. Marc Bernardin. And that is Fat Man on Batman for this week. I'm Kevin Smith.
I am Marc Bernardin.
Tune in next time. Same fat time, same fat channel. Smodcast.com or
YouTube.com/Kevin Smith.
Good night, everybody.